Folks, I told you if I saw something important, I'd make a separate video, and this is one of those videos. I'm going to be reading, so please be patient with me. It's about 2.5 pages long, but it can be found, AP, it's out there. All you're going to have to do is type in United Nations. And there's just recently a meeting held for 2 days, supposedly, for only 2 days, but it's going to extend into tomorrow. I want to give you what we've got for the first 2 days of that meeting. This was at the UN. Okay, let me get right into it. This is very important. I'm going to explain at the very end how and why. United Nations, it's called the 7-page text. Now, that's kind of something separate, but that's what I'm calling it because it's basically all combined together here. Again, snippets, and I've put a lot of this together in such a way that if you go back and read it, it's going to be much, much longer. Okay. High-level representatives at the UN conference on Tuesday urged Israel to commit to a Palestinian state and gave unwavering support to a two-state solution, signaling widespread international determination to end one of the world's longest conflicts. 80-year conflict within Israel is what they're talking about. The plan would accumulate with the independent demilitarization, the Palestinians living side by side peacefully with Israel, and not in this article but separately. They're wanting Israel to go back to the 1967 borders, and they want to have Palestinians, or the Palestinians, to have half of Jerusalem. Oh, that's in something separate. I didn't write it in here. It was a video, actually. The latest reports that starvation and famine taking place in Gaza are growing global outrage for not getting food due to Israel's policies and practices. Plan for 2-day meeting was extended into Wednesday because representatives of about 50 countries have not spoken, so they're going to give them the time to speak today. Israel and the United States boycotting, calling the meeting unproductive and ill-timed. France, Saudi Arabia, European Union, Arab League, and 15 countries that led the working groups agreed to collective action to end the war in Gaza. Main gist of it, Saudi foreign minister urged the rest of the 193 UN member nations to support this document before the start of the 80th session of the UN General Assembly in mid-September. Okay, you've got that so far, just a little bit more to go. And I'm sure I'm going to probably be back here tomorrow with more. The declaration condemns the attacks committed by Hamas. This is new, folks, this is new. Against civilians in southern Israel on October 7th, 2023. It marks the first condemnation by Arab nations in Hamas who killed more than 1,200, mainly Israel civilians. Okay, let's go on. The declaration condemns Israel's attacks. Yeah, that would be new, wouldn't it? Envision a Palestinian Authority governing and controlling the Palestinian territory with a transitional administration committee immediately established under its umbrella after a ceasefire in Gaza. I hope you caught on to that. That's the UN wanting to have a major say-so here. Hamas must end its rule in Gaza and hand over Hamas, this is important, must end its rule in Gaza and hand over the weapons to the Palestinian Authority, the declaration says. The temporary international stabilization mission operating under the UN auspice to protect Palestinian civilians, support the transfer of security to the Palestinian Authority, PA, Mahmoud Abbas, provide security guarantees for the Palestinians and Israel, including monitoring of the ceasefire and of a future peace agreement. Man, wow, what a pipe dream. The declaration urges countries to recognize the two-state solution. Let's see, yeah, you're still in there, okay. UK will recognize Palestinian state at General Assembly in September. That's what they have said they're going to do, so. Let's go on to the last page here, and I'm going to get to my points. Let's see. The statement issued late Tuesday says 15 countries have recognized, express the willingness or the positive consideration to recognize the state of Palestine. as an essential step forward to this two-state solution. Arab Muslim countries, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, signed the declaration Tuesday condemning for the first time Hamas's onslaught of October 7th and the calling on the Palestinian terror group and to release the hostages as it holding, disarm, and end the rule of Gaza in a bid to end the devastating war in the Strip. 17 countries plus 22 Arab League, and the entire European Union threw their weight behind the 7-page text. Again, this is summarized. You can go into much more detail just by looking that up your own self. And also there's videos. I'm going to make my point right now, okay? Psalms 83, 2 and 3. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. I'm sorry, folks. And they that hate thee have lifted up their head. The UN, this meeting, gathering together. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against the hidden ones. What's the reason for this war to continue going? The hostages or the hidden ones. And so, let's go down to 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and of the seasons, brethren, I have no need that I write unto you. Folks, I don't know whether you just caught on to this or not. But we have just been given all the information that we need to see that this confederation, this coming together, this to bring the Hamas war, as we said, it was the number one reason for all wars that Israel's ever been in to continue the way it was with no outcome being able to be seen. Hamas is not going to give up the hostages. They just instantly lose if they did. If Israel goes in and takes the hostages, they're going to kill the hostages. It's a no-win, no matter how you look at it. What's the solution? The solution is that, honestly, God steps in. When they say peace and safety, and this is what they're really worried about so much right now, is bringing peace amongst all these, but going about it all the wrong way. According to Scripture and what God tells us through his apostles, his teachers, everything that we have learned and gathered, we understand that Israel is not going to ever be removed out of its land again. In the last 3.5 years of the tribulation, it's going to look pretty bad for Israel. It really is. But there isn't going to be a two-state solution because of God's intervening. That's my understanding. We still have, on another, 8 more weeks, 6 more weeks, whatever it might be, before we finally get into September. The UN 80th session starts on September 9th. As I said in the caption in the beginning here, in the video description, I said it is very possible that we could actually see the UN meeting, the 80th session, actually see the Antichrist being involved in making a commitment, a confirmation, supporting a commitment to a 7-year peace agreement. That's how this could all end up. Folks, I'm going to give you more on tomorrow. Let's see what happens. I'm just shocked by this. I really am. I mean, it's kind of really not denying what we have been saying all along. It's coming to fruition. It's building. It's growing. It's here. Let's see what happens tomorrow and then over the course of the next several weeks. And as far as I'm concerned, folks, in all my understanding, the rapture could happen today. It really could. That meeting coming together right here. I'm not saying it's going to, folks. I don't know that. I really don't know when it's going to happen. But boy, does it look like it's accumulating just like Scripture said. Sticking with Scripture, that's what we do here. Okay, until tomorrow, folks.